Dunkin' Donuts when the speech goes live. Gotta see how it all ends. What is it? Hold on. People said she talked shit.
What Destiny did last night was fucked up. That's my take. He's a piece of shit for that. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. Because, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about it, because I refuse to violate the normalcy that they both deserve, to treat them like reality TV stars, because I'm a streamer. And I feel like if anybody should know that, it should be streamers.
This is like a two-head take.
I will move my camera.
All right.
So for anybody who's not aware, essentially, I'm about to throw up. No me. Yeah, so essentially where do I even start? So there was a lot of stuff that happened within OTV a few months ago. A sort of falling out. Fed left. And yeah. And yesterday there was a document that was leaked where Fed wrote up a bunch of stuff and vented and blah blah blah. So essentially, I'm just going to go through it, respond to it, because obviously it's very much like his side of things, and I would like to give my side of things. I think that's about it. Everything else will be kind of self-explanatory.
Oh my god, is she really gonna try to go through this point by point? Oh no. Oh shit.
I named my response Yep Clock. I just accidentally showed that. Anyways.
Pokey is making her statement
Fed
on stream now.
Tweet.
Why would she do this?
We spoke. And I don't know if you guys want me to read that now or later or whatever, but I'm pretty sure essentially it's... Well, I guess we could read it now. Hold on.
Refresh, you're so behind. Wait, what?
Yeah, so he said, hey guys, it's been brought to my attention that a document I wrote many months ago has been leaked. I want to make it clear that this is not something I wanted out publicly. The document was leaked by someone I had asked for advice and support who chose to maliciously violate my trust. A while ago, Pokey and I spoke about what happened. We came to agree that keeping things private and making no further statements publicly would...
Wait, hello?
We were both happy with this agreement and the peace of mind that came with it, but one of the people I had turned to for advice and support when I needed it the most violated my trust, sending the document to streamers. I just want to apologize, as I do feel responsible for such extremely sensitive and private conversations to be aired out like dirty laundry. When I wrote this statement months ago, I was encouraged by my friends to write out my side of things. However, I did it while feeling extremely vindictive, as I felt that something that
I wonder if she's just going to go through the second statement. That would make more sense.
For inaccurately spoke out against me. To this day, I do believe that I was mischaracterized. However, after talking to Pokey, I came to understand her perspective and decision making. My outlook on the situation as a whole now comes from a better place of understanding. Also, yeah, let me mute alerts. I'm sorry, I feel a bit of a I feel like I need to put chat in sub mode just to keep it civil whatsoever. However, I do want to make sure that I don't ever need to fucking do this ever again. So I will have brief breaks where I take it off sub mode and you guys can let me know if you have any questions or clarifications that are needed. My outlook on the situation as a whole now comes from a better place of understanding. Additionally, after hearing her side about Yvonne almost being fired, it was made clear to me that the point of her bringing that up wasn't to allude to the false claim I wanted her fired, but more so to highlight the fact that her lack of motivation to work with me stemmed from her feeling uncomfortable because of our incident. Which again, as I said in the document, I'm deeply sorry for and wish I wasn't so naive and insensitive. On the topic of whether I tried to manipulate our friends to hate her, I still fully stand behind what my document reads, but want to further emphasize that although it wasn't my intention to shine Pokey in a bad light when I'd vent/confide to our friends about my frustrations, the side effect was that many of our friends perceived her differently and in turn avoided pursuing friendships with her. They then admitted this to her after the intervention, so I now better understand why she felt manipulated. I know a lot of details surrounding the nature of our friendship were shown, but I'd like to first prevent any further speculation by saying we were never intimate or in a relationship. Pokey and I are very close and often flirty, but that was the extent of it. I know the way things unfold in the document, it seems like I'm alluding to her leading me on, but I don't believe that and think that the truth is somewhere in between. We both made mistakes and have owned up to them privately. I hope everyone reading will try to move on from all this, as we certainly have already. Please respect our privacy and avoid further sharing or discussing this leak, as it's a gross invasion of privacy and I regret that it was made public. So, yeah, we're gonna kind of go through it one by one. Okay, now I actually muted alerts. So, I'll just get into it, and if there's anything I need to say, then we'll get around to it. So he just starts off saying, "Hey guys, what? I know it's really long. So can I just ask, from your guys' perspective, do you care more about the specific points, or is it easier to literally go through the whole thing?"
If she goes through the whole thing, holy shit, this would be
okay. I'm gonna try to
S tier.
Focus. Like, I'm not gonna skip over anything unless it is completely not pertaining to me, and I will try to focus on the actual points. So, hey guys, it's been a while. It's been about 2 months now. I want to start off with this, actually, not really pertaining, but I want to say I've seen this document. I've seen 3 versions of this document already. Because as you can tell, it was made months ago. It has not been 2 months since the incident. So it's been sent to a few friends of mine. I received it, and me and Fed spoke about it a while ago. Sorry, I have my... the stuff that I want to share on the side here. So if you see me look to the side,
oh, she took notes and everything.
Yeah, it was actually the first, when I confronted him about finding out about this document, it was the first time that we've spoken since everything unfolded. And it wasn't easy, but we came to a decent understanding of each other, and wanting to handle it privately, which is why it's so unfortunate that this was leaked anyways. Very unfortunate. So yeah, I'm gonna try to go through the parts specific to me. I think this is all mainly just like stuff about him, so I'm gonna skip over this. And he says that basically the purpose is that when he saw my stream where I talked about him, he feels like it painted him in a very negative light. He says, I definitely did some questionable things and broke her trust, but there are some claims she makes about me, Yvonne and I, just friends and herself, that are either false, twisting the truth, or misconstrued. I understand from his perspective it seems like that, but obviously I feel like I also spoke my truth. At the end of the day, there's 2 sides to every story, so I'm going to be addressing these claims as well as giving context to mostly everything that was mentioned on our stream, since I feel that is very important and personal to me. Oh, this is so long. This Foki thing all started as a joke when I made a picture of me and Pokey as my phone background, obviously. So he's basically saying there was a Taiwan trip, February 14th, 2018, Valentine's Day, woo, almost 3 years ago now. And that was the first time that, me and Fed had, flirted or gotten close, or essentially it was when we first started getting close. You guys fucking eating popcorn? Fuck you guys. This is my real life. A lot of good moments came from that trip. It felt like the honeymoon phase of getting to know someone, and that's what it was. This was the first time we talked and looked at each other differently. We discussed a blah, 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 blah. By the way, if I blah, blah anything you guys find is important, please let me know. It's just things that I feel like don't have much to say about.
Word!
We came back from Taiwan, and we came back from close.
Do you think Maya is going to, do you think Maya's going to call her boyfriend a piece of shit because he's restreaming Poki's thing here? Well, no, actually, that's way different.
Just details about us hanging out, watching stuff together. We did get very close, that's true. And, oh my gosh. Insert very cringy text messages that have no place on the internet, but, yeah, I mean, essentially, me and Fed had just gotten really close, although we obviously weren't like dating, we were like talking, you know, and we lived together. It's like, yeah, we were able to hang out a lot and we worked together, so yeah, we became close. In March 2018, we had an honest discussion about the direction we were heading, and she brought up some notable problems. A, that we live together and could be a problem if things don't work out, and B, we are board members / own equity of the company that we work for. This could be a conflict of interest and could get nasty if things didn't work out between us. So
We're just going to skip all of that.
I am very much of that mindset where it's like, if there are so many conflicts in regards to me pursuing something with someone, I am highly unlikely to do it unless I felt like, wow, like this is the person for me. Sorry, I need to let my cat in. Yep, come on in. You can enjoy the show too. I'm so sorry if you guys hear that sound. Skipping the pictures? Oh, I'm sorry. They're really just cringe. You know? It's like, Fetty, Weddy. Or like, you look cute. Oh, you made me blush. Like, it's really just cringe. But yeah, definitely this was like the first time we got to know each other, and therefore like kind of the flirtiest time in my opinion. But then I was like, we can't really do this unless, again, I feel like this is something we seriously want to pursue. April / May 2018, pretty much the same as March, except she was traveling a lot. We texted and FaceTimed, and we'd call each other cute stuff. Like, we're obviously acting coupley here, none of us were apart. We FaceTime. I super felt like we were disregarding the conversation we had in March and kind of just going with the flow. Obviously, I'm excited about this because by this time, I liked her enough that I wanted to try to be serious / exclusive. And more, do you miss me? You're cute, blah, blah, blah. Upcoming are some parts that are, well, yeah. So EDC 2018 comes around, a music festival in May, and he was roommates with someone. Of course, it was pretty obvious to him that I was texting Pokey, and I actually remember this, that we were texting, and I think just like alluding to our manager and Josh that we were talking. And he goes on to say, like, I'm a really private person and that he shouldn't have alluded to someone that we were talking. But actually, in this instance, we really, like, this was the first time that we started talking, and we were starting to talk pretty seriously. And I was like, I need to figure out whether this is something that I want to pursue and risk the conflict of interest or just something I'm not interested in. So I actually don't really care about this at all. Where he's like, I shouldn't have overshared. This was not my issue at this point in time. We FaceTimed in the morning. I don't even remember any of this, to be honest. She called me out on using language like that in front of people, which is true. Like, I don't really want to act coupley until I make that decision to be coupley. And again, I was still, like, trying to figure it out. I feel like I need to understand the boy scene a little bit more. I mean, you know, I was, like, 20, 21, in LA, single, freshly in LA, whatever the heck, right? I wanted to be sure of whoever I was going to pursue.
Oh, God.
And also, for Fed, as I said here, also he should date around, because like I also didn't like the online pressure of people shipping us, and I don't like the idea of like falling into it just because there's pressure.
They played into that shipping so much. I think she's lying here.
Get a good lay of the land and pursue someone because you
I don't want to like
genuinely
say that
like
like
them, not
oh
just
like
because
but
there's like internet attention around your names. For me then, this came out of left field and I felt pretty stupid. I was hurt. Blah, blah. I do remember having this conversation, and I was investing so much time. I was trying to be understanding, but it brought up a lot of insecurities and notions of not being good enough. And for me, it was like, I just need to figure out whether I...
Like, she tells him to date around, but she's saying it's cringy when other girls are mentioning you in stream. Like,
it made things so complicated. I wish I was better at navigating them earlier. After taking time to understand her concerns, I came around to her unease. She wanted to be sure of her feelings and not just there because we were accessible to each other. That too. I was like, we're like really, like, we're physically really close, and that makes you feel like maybe someone's like the right person, but anyways. Oh my god, this is so cringe because like, I'm not like massively older and massively more mature, but I really was that. I was like, don't like call me pet names unless we're dating. Because I feel like just a line I draw, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, whatever.
Oh, by the way, red pill moment, you guys, none of these text messages are cringy. These are like super standard, like how cutesy, flirty people would text each other. I know a lot of you guys are forever loners or whatever, but none of the text messages are like, oh my god, it's so cringy. I'm gonna say they were like pretty standard texts. I'd expect to see between people that are flirty with each other.
About, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings in any way. And also someone I lived with, and also someone I worked with. So again, a fragile connection in a sense. By now, you can see there's a cycle of talking again, and then, oh wait, there's a problem. This cycle continued throughout the years, and every time it didn't work out. I think
like if you were to leak my DMs with Melina, half of it is just like, mealy, mealy, meal.
Like, more and more frustrated. I start to become jealous, insecure at times. I would act out sometimes, lock myself in my room all day and stream Pokemon for the entire day to avoid her. I would go over to just friends, sit in the streamer house, and vent about my frustrations. So, I'd like to elaborate on this. For me, that's kind of the awkward thing. So for me, and I think it's a part he skipped over in his document, but there's VODs of this. After EDC, I went to Canada around that time to visit my parents, and he had surprise visited me in Canada. Again, around the time that we first started talking, I was like, do I like him, do I not? And then when he showed up, I was really flattered by that because I don't have like a shit ton of dating experience, and no one had ever done such like an extravagant thing per se to surprise me. So I was like, oh, maybe I should give him a chance. And so in Canada, I was like trying to open my heart up to the idea a bit more. But I realized it just didn't feel right, essentially. And I was like, oh, okay, now I know like this is not something that I want to pursue. So when we came back home, again, May-ish, I had that talk with him. May 2018, I believe. I had that talk with him. And I was like, because I remember it was an emotional talk. And I was like, listen, dog, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm so not used to talking about private stuff, so.
I think she should have written down notes for this. She's like incredibly vague on all of this. And I think the reason why she's being vague is because she knows there's not a way to spin this in a positive way.
To me, okay.
That's my guess.
To me, it was like, I've had this conversation with you, and now, like, admittedly, in hindsight, it was selfish that, like, I wanted to, like, still be friends and still be close. But I think he read that as, like, signs of maybe wanting more. But in my mind, I was like, I already had this convo with you of, like, not wanting more. So but also, there was like this cycle of like we'd get close and I'd be like, I think like you think this is headed in a way that it's not headed. Like we can't be like this close, because like boundaries would be pushed and blah blah blah. So since we're on that subject, oh my god, I just realized I am not reading my side of the document at all. So I'm just gonna make sure that I didn't miss anything. Taiwan trip 3 years ago was the first time me and Fed got close, had any sort of flirty interaction, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, saying the private cringy flirty text, they're kind of whatever. Anyone who's ever flirted with anyone probably has cringy texts like that. I want to reiterate that even though these are out my personal life is still my right to discuss publicly as little or as much as I personally desire. I also want to say that I feel he implied we were heavily involved when me and Fed were never intimate, we were never sexual, and also I knew, and anyone who has watched his stream, like, he's kind of a flirty guy, right? So as cringy as these are, I don't think these texts from 3 years ago are indicative of much in regards to the things that I said were problematic in my first stream.
Oh man, she's just oh my god. We're just hand waving it all. She should.
So essentially, people reading this document may feel like I lied about there being something going on between me and Fed. I understand where that comes from completely, and just want to explain that I was trying to share a very specific instance where I felt Fed lied about the state of our friendship or relationship, and it happened much later than these texts in Taiwan. It happened way after May when he visited, and I had that conversation with him of like, listen, I just want to be friends. So that's why, in my mind, I was saying like, this was so after the time that we were involved. I knew, and I think he knew, that it was inappropriate for him to say to, he brings up Steve later, I don't even know where. That's the incident that I was actually referring to. So later, after the conversation in May, I'm like, we're just friends. I think this was like summer, July, June. Steve is a random fucking name, let's be honest. So, yeah, I think, genuinely speaking, I can't say that either of us maneuvered the situation as best as we could, but I always tried to be so upfront about, like, I just want to be friends. I'm seeing other people. Like, yeah, I want to be close to you. I obviously still want to be your friend. Like, you're really important.
But she was still sending messages in December about, like, sharing a bed and everything with a guy she knew was crazy about her.
I'm really excited for, like, this person to come to the party. I want to talk to this person, that person, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my
So,
God.
that's what happened. He told Steve, essentially, that we were a thing long after I had this conversation with him about, I just want to be friends. So that's why I mentioned that specific part on my stream. So I understand now people are like, yeah, but you guys flirted, so you had a thing. In my mind, it was like, we flirt here, we end here. And then he fucks up way over here. I hope that makes sense. I also...
But then even after the fuck up, wasn't that fuck up before December?
One screenshot because, yeah, I'm not really here to...
This is like watching denims come apart. Oh, no. She's just not... She should have written down like a way more coherent story for this. I don't think she prepared much for this.
Incident that was very clearly a mess up on Fed's part, because when he told Steve that night, oh yeah, me and Pokey have a thing, Steve told me, and I said, no, we don't. I confronted Fed about it. Fed apologized and said, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Like, yeah, it was my bad. I didn't want something happening, blah, blah, blah. So to me, it was like, oh, you admitted fault, like, you know that what you did was wrong. And also, prior to the first stream I did where I spoke about everything, I messaged Fed and I said, I'm going to speak out about things because I feel like people are being really harsh towards Lily and Yvonne and they're not believing them. Is there anything that you would really want me to leave out? I don't know if I can accommodate, but I also don't want to make things terribly difficult for you. I won't mention or super personal details, mainly some lies and instances where people felt manipulated. And he said, if you can find it in you to leave out telling, like, the situation where I told Steve that you and I were a thing, it's something I would just not like mentioned, but I understand if not. Otherwise, I trust you, and I think doing what's best for Lily and Yvonne's comfort is the right play. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't leave that out because it's the best/easiest example I can give of lying or like some form of manipulation. So again, this is the only thing I am willing to include, like, just as an actual fact check of, like, he asked me not to mention this thing, which to me is like an admission of guilt, essentially. But now, months later, he's saying, oh no, that's not how it went down. And you know what? It's his prerogative.
That's not true. Fed did admit that's how it went down. Fed admitted that he made a mistake. Like 7 times here he said he made a mistake. What does she mean?
For however long. So, That was my truth in regards to this happening. All right. So yeah. Essentially, we just had trouble being close but managing our friendship, especially knowing he wanted more, but I was always upfront. Well, I always felt I was upfront about how I felt and what he could or couldn't expect from me. Obviously, we probably were not on the same page. We were essentially in a difficult to maneuver situation. It really bothered me that in this document, he tried so hard to paint me as the bad guy or like leading him on when I felt I was always honest. And I know there are parts in here where he's like, yeah, and sometimes she would like hang out with guys at the house, and it was like, it felt really bad for me. And you know what? I get that, but I hope you guys can also see from my perspective, that was me trying to be upfront about like,
oh my God, what did she say?
Dating, I'm seeing people like, again, I am not pursuing a future between the two of us. So I hope you guys can kind of see how there's...
I was trying to be upfront with my crush by bringing guys over to spend the night with me in the room literally next door to him, just to try to be clear about our... Oh my God.
And again, I never wanted to intentionally hurt him or want him to feel bad. Obviously, I, at this point, don't think he was trying to do that to me either. Just think that some moments were like really inconsiderate. But anyways, looking back, I should have been more aware and careful of how I acted around him, so there are no signals to misread, but you know, hindsight 2020. And I learned a lot from the situation. To me, in all honesty, it's really, all of this is really not all that important. It's regular 20-year-old relationship bullshit. He said, she said, blah, blah, you know, nothing that important happened, in my opinion. What I shared about the Steve situation is my honest truth. And I feel like it is just really irrelevant in comparison to the incident that actually triggered all of this, if that makes sense. I don't even know where I left off.
It's smart of her to not go into it, I guess. This is kind of what I said, right? Like, she's not going to get super into the weeds. I guess it's...
So, since we're on that subject, in her stream she mentioned I would try to manipulate just friends, which is like our friends, to hate her or not be her friend. That's unfoundedly slanderous. I'm so sorry, that wording makes me laugh a bit. My intention was always that I wanted a friend to talk to. Lily was probably sick of hearing the same story between us every 3 months. Thanks for always listening to me anyway, Lily. Probably true. And can I just say, like, everything over the last, like, 3 years just makes me realize that, like, as much as me and Fed, like, kind of got along, we just are such different people, and we see things so differently. So the way he sees it is like, oh, I'm just, like, venting to my friends because I need to let my emotions out. For me, I tried really hard not to vent to people within or very close to OTV about Fed, because I knew that essentially it's kind of like shit-talking him, and then they're going to see him differently, and it's just going to fuck with the dynamic. But I don't think he realized that aspect of things. So he said, I wanted nothing more than for everyone to be friends with Pokey, so let me give a little context here since that was never provided. Pokey always goes to bed at midnight every night without fail, and if she doesn't, something's really wrong. And if she stays up longer, she gets crazy in a funny way. Sometimes true. She takes the AM streaming slots, as most of you know, so that requires good sleep. Obviously, of course, after my stream, I'd always seek quality time with her, and that would generally involve dinner and a show. Some nights we would eat downstairs and other nights on her bed, so if I stopped the stream at 10 p.m., I'd hang with her till midnight. Then I would F off and hang out with the rest of the house and go hang out with just friends. I'd primarily vent to one of the girls about everything. She'd always give me a good female's perspective and made me feel like it was going to be okay. It was in some sense therapeutic. I would rarely talk to the other girls about my issues with Pokey. From my perspective and from what I've heard, that doesn't seem true. He also mentions talking to Lily. He mentions talking to another girl at Just Friends, and again, just not what I really heard. It's just nuts here now that I was being manipulative and trying to make the girls hate her, leave her out intentionally. That's complete bullshit. I just wanted someone to talk to that could guide me through those emotions. It's also difficult to now hear some of the girls say that they looked at me as a member of OTV and not just a friend, like I looked at them. I understand that although my intentions were innocent, the unintentional side effect is that the Just Friends people might have seen her differently. I'm deeply sorry, and I wish I was more aware of those repercussions. I do, however, think intentions matter when you're characterizing someone as a manipulator in front of thousands of people. So, essentially, he was very frustrated by the fact that I was saying all of these people around me have come to me and told me that they essentially avoided being my friend because of things you had told them. And that made them feel manipulated. That made me feel manipulated. But it wasn't his intention, and he wasn't trying to be manipulative. So you see how it's a bit of a fine line. He was really unhappy being painted as a manipulator, when in reality, he was just inconsiderate in the way that he was talking about me. But to us, it just felt manipulative, because we're like, oh, we just missed out on friendships we could have had all along, essentially.
How could you miss out on friendships you could have had along? It's really easy. You're Pokemon. You can DM anybody in the world and they would be your friend. I don't understand. What?
It makes me deeply uncomfortable to see someone essentially like psychoanalyze me and provide all of these.
As a heads up, I will literally eat my shoes on stream if there are DMs where Poki's messaging people where she's like, hey, do you want to play games? Or hey, do you want to do this today? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, sorry, I just don't want to. No fucking way. Come on.
Unnecessary. So I'm going to read, I might be repeating some things, but I want to read what I
No
wrote.
shot, bucko.
Again, actually, I'll finish reading this paragraph, and then I'll say it. If she was really afraid of being alienated, she would have taken the time out of her day to be their friend. She didn't stream every day. She could have gone over just to hang like I did so many times on my off days. None of the things I would ever say to Just Friends would ever imply that they shouldn't be friends with her. It was only ever typical relationship issues and how do I get over it type conversations. It's crazy to me that things are being said otherwise. There wasn't a looming dark cloud of malice towards her in that house. This is the truth. Poki would generally only come over if there was something she could tangibly benefit from in some way. Large streaming events, midnight birthday streams. It's the same reason you never saw her come into people's streams at OTV. And when she wasn't streaming, she was also always grinding or practicing whatever game she wanted to get better at for stream. I don't want to go into this too deep. Sorry. Because I'm not here to attack her character, but it's just the way things were. She had her priorities, we had ours. I'm sure she's gotten better at it now. Midnight hangout sessions at Just Friends, LOL. She applies this kind of philosophy to so many things in her life. It truly disappointed me because I and people in the house wanted her more in our lives. I get it, she was driven by her business and stream. It's just wild that I'm the scapegoat now for her not wanting to make sacrifices to go over Just Friends. I don't feel that is fair at all. Okay.
Wait.
My side. Hello, it is me, Poki, the actual person doing these things. It is so weird to, like, by a friend try to be painted as, like, this, like, ruthless businesswoman. Like, yeah, I mean, streaming is such a cool career. Of course, it's something that I care about a lot, that I was especially really interested in then. I've learned to balance my life a bit better. But I just want to say, these are none of the reasons why it was sometimes difficult for me to hang out with other people. It wasn't because I wanted something out of them. I mean, I can't even recall anything that I could gain from, like, streaming events at other people's houses, midnight birthday streams. I'm like one head in the back of like 20. But the reason these were a bit easier for me to go to is because, like, well, it's someone's birthday. I want to go say happy birthday. But when it comes to, like, oh, let me just Uber over to their house at a point in time where I didn't have solid friendships with these people. And also, as I have tried to state earlier, essentially, like, the things that he had said to people, I could tell that there were just bad vibes. You know what I mean?
She's smart about this, because if you actually wanted friends and shit, somebody like me, because I'm a dumb fuck, I probably would have just Ubered over to hang out. But she's like, yeah, hold on. Are we really close enough for you to be capitalizing off of my image like that? I don't know. I'm not feeling the vibes. Like, damn, it's ruthless. It's much smarter. If she was in political Twitch, she wouldn't have created Hassan and Vosh. That's what I'm saying, okay? Poke is the upper hand there. True.
It made sense for me to come over and say happy birthday. In a sense, that was like a step that I was trying to take to be supportive. And I actually remember, like, I remember this thought pattern that I had a lot and that I even shared with him, where I was like, oh, like, do you think I like come off as intimidating to some people or something? Like, am I hard to approach? Sometimes I want to be friends with people, but I feel like I don't get that same feeling back. So I know this is something I shared with him, and it has nothing to do with me profiting off of Omegalol. I don't even know, you know? So yeah. That's my take, and I think the best testament to all of this is just the fact that in the last 6 months, and I'm not saying this is entirely Fed's fault, to some extent it was also me, but I know that after the intervention, it felt like there was like this barrier lifted from between me and so many other people, and now my friendships with people in OTV, with just friends, with our friends in general, is just like tremendously better than it was before. Y'all seen me be up late and shit, okay? So it wasn't that like always felt I had to stream at a certain time, but it was also like,
what are we talking about?
I needed to feel like really invited or really welcomed, and I just didn't back then. So yeah.
This was in December. Oh my
I feel
god.
like I'm talking a mile a minute. I'm gonna finish just this part about like friendships and stuff, and then I will ask you guys if you have any questions before we move on to the rest. So yeah, again, this part makes me uncomfortable to read, and maybe you guys can relate. But when you see someone else psychoanalyze you to kind of arrive to whatever conclusion they want to get to, it just feels weird. Like me waking up early, like sure, I like a nice sleep schedule, but you guys have seen me stay up hella late for Among Us streams or for whatever, as long as I have the company to do it with and I feel welcomed. It just feels weird, but the point is, me and Fed spoke about this when I first learned of this document weeks ago. He felt that what I said on stream made it seem like he manipulated people around me into not wanting to be my friend, and he was upset because we didn't mention that that wasn't his intention. He didn't mean to have that impact, even though he did. He was just being inconsiderate in regards to the way he spoke about me to my friends. And I believe this. I don't think he was actively trying to make people not want to be my friend, even though that's what he ended up doing. And this wasn't a conclusion that I tried to come to at all. It was one that was almost like hurtfully thrown in my face when we held these interventions. And I spoke out about my feelings, and so many people came up to me and apologized and told me that they saw me in a different light because of things Fed said, and that they were just so sorry that they like really put no effort into trying to be friends, or yeah, they just had this perception of me already, which, mind you, is also a very common thing online. Like, I have people come in my chat and they're like, just heard all these people shit talk you or like these weird videos, but I actually watch your streams and I really like you now. Like, it's essentially that, to be honest. So yeah, the same thing has happened to me. You know, sometimes he has mentioned certain things to me and maybe he doesn't think that it'll have an impact on the way that I see someone, but it does. And then I kind of avoid being their friend. But then later on, I find out that they're actually really great people I would have gotten along with. And it's something that just happens in friend groups, okay? It just fucking happens. Unfortunately, the way it happened with Fed was like a bit of a larger scale and a bit more only about me.
I don't even know what we're like.
So it was unfortunate, it was unintentional, but nonetheless, it did occur. So, yeah, and the last part I just say like, yeah, I talk about my schedule and bedtime, blah, 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 but I think it's kind of easy to see that I'm just much closer with everybody now, and I'm so happy about that, and it feels so nice to know that, like, even when something like this comes out, like, I have friends that I know will support me, and that really know and like just truly genuinely know who I am now, and I think that is just priceless. So yeah, so far as to the things that we've covered, are there any questions or things that I might have skimmed over?
Wait, was that it? Wait, that was it? No, this makes sense. That's smart. But it's funny that she framed it as though she was going to go through all of it. What?
Any important questions? Oh, jeez, oh, jeez.
Or is this just a break? No, she said so far. Okay, never mind. We're still going. We got more.
I will talk about the Jody thing once we get there. Do not worry.
We're just on
I
break.
will.
Do not worry. Oh, how was she going to explain that one?
I appreciate that. I want up. I want up. Can any specific questions? No, doesn't seem like it. Would you ever consider mutual forgiveness? I think we're essentially at that point. It's just unfortunate that this came out. If there's anything I skipped, just please say it specifically. What about how one of the screenshots directly contradicts your previous statement about Yvonne? Which one specifically? Also, we haven't gotten there yet, actually. I haven't addressed the Yvonne situation or anything below it. So far, we've talked about my personal...
Do you want her to fail at this point? Not saying you are, but you're having fun. Oh, I mean, drama is always fun. It's always interesting. I'm not like cheering for any particular side. I like Yvonne. I think she's a really cool person. She's also a little bit whatever, but I mean, I think she's a cool person. This is all just very interesting to me. So all of it is, I don't have a horse in the race. I'm not really close to, I was probably closer to Yvonne than Fed. I didn't really talk to Fed ever. I think that it's just very interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not cheering for any side. I just think the situation is quite the meme.
After that, it was like a barrier was lifted, and then we were able to be better friends, luckily. I put chat in sub mode because it is so boom. In terms of like a flirty cringe text, it's like it just is what it is, honestly. I don't really know what else to say. It's like, yeah, I feel like that's very normal, like, but again, we just like, we never crossed that line. I said it, he said it, it just is what it is, and I don't like that kind of stuff being out there. I mean, I know people will make their assumptions, but why else would we clarify that personally?
There's an alternate universe that I wish I could peer into where she says she's closer with everyone now. I wonder if Among Us hadn't been released, if she would be. That's a really dark way of thinking about things, but...
I can't find the... Okay. No hate, do you think you led on Fed slightly to the point where most people would consider you two as seeing each other? I think there was a point, again, at first, like at EDC, that I was like, yeah, no, we were talking at that point. That's why I wasn't mad that he told Josh that we were, like, talking to each other or seeing each other. But afterwards, I felt like I had had that conversation with him. I said, I just want to be friends. I understand he probably wasn't on the same page as me, but that kind of just happens in life sometimes. It was unfortunate. Neither of us really handled it the best way. I'm not going to say that, but yeah. Okay. I will just finish it so that people can ask questions that are relevant to any part. And then he talks about the Steve thing, and he says that it's not true. Okay. Steve told me, Fed said, you guys are seeing each other, and he told me not to tell you that I know. And he's saying that that's not true, but I confronted Fed about it the very next day. I told Fed that I would talk about it prior to my stream when I spoke about the Yvonne and Lily situation. I feel like that's all that I can do. And he did not say that any of it was false up until very recently. So it's up to you guys to really say what you believe, but yeah. Again, I feel like this is more personal him stuff, like, oh, it's hard to live with someone that was seeing other people when I was interested in them. Understand? Looking back, I can certainly empathize with her. I could have invited her over more, and when she later brought up to me that she was feeling left out, I made it a point to start inviting her more, although she rarely accepted. So the claim that I was the primary reason she was isolated and that I ruined her chances with a friendship with them is a dramatic stretch. So again, I feel like he's kind of he is trying. And unfortunately, this is all so outdated, so I also don't even want to say, this isn't even how he feels anymore, but that's what I was told, essentially. If your friends come to you and they say, hey, this person made me look at you differently, and that's why I've had trouble being your friend, I think you're probably going to believe them. So it really isn't like me trying to make this dramatic stretch. That's kind of all I'm trying to say. And then he talks more about how we would get closer when I wasn't seeing someone. And I think that's fair. But also to me, it was like, for me, like my boundary of we're seeing each other isn't like, oh, we're like hanging out, we're close, this and that. So I think it was just like a messy situation in general. Again, not saying
she's not gonna, yeah, she's just gonna keep saying that. Oh, like in general, it was kind of messy, blah, blah, blah. Like,
so unfortunately, a lot of miscommunication and such.
Maya talked about your clip. She felt like you talking about it without consent from any party is different from Pokey talking about it on her channel. No, she's lying because she doesn't want to go against her boyfriend, because nobody in this industry has the balls to talk against anybody. If you go back and you watch the Maya clip, she specifically said that she didn't like it because I was treating it like reality TV. Her boyfriend Miskif is doing the exact same thing. She just doesn't want to say anything bad against him because they're dating. That's it. She doesn't actually believe or know or have any idea what she's talking about. She's just talking shit. Full stop. End of discussion.
About him, there's just really no need. And yeah, and perhaps my truth doesn't align with what he knows or what he feels he intended, but yeah. I think I don't really think I can speak to this. It's just him talking to Lily. this text I regret so much. So I told you guys I saw this document before.
Here we go.
And for him to include, I don't really know why he included like this text where I was being very petty towards Jody. I think this was like 2 or 3 houses ago when Jody was first entering the friend group, and I had like heard perhaps some like not the best things, and so my perception was skewed, and I just said some petty stuff that is bad. And I want you guys to know actually that when I first saw this document and I spoke to Fed about it and we resolved things privately, I immediately, like as soon as I saw that text message, I immediately went to Jody and I was like, listen, this is never going to be public, but I want to apologize for what I said, because it's just BM and stupid, and she is such a lovely person, such a lovely friend of mine now, and I just regret ever.
Does she play Among Us a lot with her? I'm just curious. The problem with this text, by the way, isn't that she said anything bad about Jody. It's that she was being possessive of Fed. She's not going to address that, though, huh?
Like, yeah, you see someone negatively, and then, oh, you get to know them, and it's like, you had no idea what the heck you were talking about. So yeah, just stupid, petty, gossipy stuff, and I am so, so sorry for it. And I will say that wrongly, a lot of the things that I felt I said were just like, I felt like me and Fed were like best friends at one point, and there were things that probably came off to him as like more romantic that to me were just like, oh, like I love you so much as a friend, which is so cringe to say, and I've learned my lesson. But yeah.
Oh my god. You're saying you think of me, right? Wait, these are just friend tags? Is she really trying to say that? I would be happy if you posted it to super cute pic. Love you too, Fetty. You know this. When you coming home, I want to watch a documentary together.
Everybody in the friend group like called each other honey bunny, which is like cringe again. But like also this is the way that I act with a lot of my girlfriends.
I just want to say, okay, that I personally know firsthand that she does not interact with everybody on this level. That is not true. But okay, man, fuck, this is triggering the fuck out of me.
Cringe. I think the Yvonne situation is important to address though, so let's get into it. In her stream, Pokey says that I tried to get Yvonne fired because of the incident between us. This is just 100% false. I never tried to get her fired. I always wanted her to be part of OTV. Just for reference, the incident between me and Yvonne was in December of 2018. Actually, do you guys need me to read through this? Because he kind of clarified this in his most recent statement where he said, oh, Pokey was never trying to say that I was trying to get Yvonne fired. She was trying to say that Yvonne almost got fired because of her behavior that stemmed from the incident between them. So here's my TLDR. For my stream talking about Fed felt like it made it seem like I was saying he was trying to get Yvonne fired. In reality, I was trying to say that Fed didn't directly try to do that, but she was almost let go from OTV because she had a lack of motivation towards the work, but her lack of motivation stemmed from what Fed had done to her and the fact that she didn't want to interact with him. So, no, he didn't try to get her fired, but what he did to her made her so unmotivated that she almost lost her position. And I'm genuinely sorry to you guys, the public, if I didn't convey that message properly the first time that I said it, but that's what I meant. And I, at the moment, was so caught up in my frustration.
Oh my God.
Seeing that in hindsight, it had nothing to do with who she is as a person or how much she cares about offline TV, because she cares so much and she does such an amazing job. And it just had everything to do with this really, really shitty situation.
She wasn't
that happened.
Caught up in the moment. She had time to prepare her statement before she went on and she said it. It was a carefully planned, meticulously prepared statement that had corroboration from multiple other people. This is just not true.
But after Fed touched Yvonne inappropriately, she just lost motivation to work on OTV stuff. And that.
But then why were you sending messages saying she's lazy, she needs to be kicked out? Why would you?
We need to get someone else on board. Like,
oh
what are
my
we doing?
God. I'm sorry. She's just lying right now. Oh no.
That's
She
where it all
needed
started.
way better lies for this. These are bad lies. You just have to read the text messages. These messages that she's sending are not reading like somebody like, man, Yvonne, after, you guys inappropriately had that thing, Yvonne really seems like she's compromised and she sent it. That's not what her texts read like at all. That is just not true.
Didn't know about what happened and he would complain about her to me. And I'm like a pretty business oriented person and I'm like, I don't want OTV to die. What do? We need to fix this problem. Like, does she want to be a content creator? Does she want to do something else? Like, we need to talk about this, guys. And I think, and I think that's essentially what these text messages are. Oh my God. Do you guys hear my stomach? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been up for like 30 hours and I haven't eaten since yesterday. I'll eat after. I'm so sorry. But yeah, let me get through this. So yeah, basically I'm like, for me, it's like if she doesn't want this position, like we should get someone else, like a biz dev, someone who's really passionate about it, blah, blah, blah. And it makes me mad to see me talk like this because me at that time had no motherfucking clue what happened between Fed and Yvonne and why she was acting this way. Does that make sense? Okay, thanks. I think that makes sense. And yes, we did have a lot of talks and things worked out in the end. And actually, one of the biggest conversations that led to her staying was like, I just went downstairs after some meetings that we had and I spoke to her one-on-one and I was like, and I really learned about like what she's passionate about, what she wants to do, and just hearing.
Oh, did Maya raid me?
Quick side
Thanks
note.
for the raid. Hey, I think your
TV
statement was
has a
really
lot
dumb,
of
but I think your animal stuff is really cool. Keep up the great work. I support you and all your
People in the past that
podcasting
we've
people.
hired for specific positions slowly turned into content creators, so that was a bit of a sore spot, especially for me. And so I was like, please no, another one bites the dust. Like, I don't want that to happen. But really, all it needed was like a good conversation between me and her, and everything was resolved after. And I was like, no, we can make this work. Like, I can see that's not your end goal. So, like, we really, like, she's such a special part of OTV that obviously we wanted to make it work. Yeah. So let's see if I'm missing anything. I think he's basically... I don't want to talk about Yvonne. Like, personally. The stuff relating to me, sure. Poki's claim in her stream. I actually don't even know what this is.
People are saying that she didn't know about Yvonne at the time, but Fed said that she told her. That he told her. I hate it when there's so many pronouns, right? Isn't that like a... I'm pretty sure Fed said that he told her about it. And even so, regardless, I don't buy the story that like, oh, all of Yvonne changed 100%. Like, so like Yvonne was some super productive, awesome, amazing worker, and then things change 180 completely, and Poki and no one else notices a thing. I don't believe that. Nope. I just call it a hunch or call it an intuition. I don't believe that.
Clock. And Fed would start talking to me. I'm so sorry for being mature. He would talk to me.
Because keep in mind, too, Poki claimed that Fed was the one trying to get Yvonne fired, right? Poki said that Fed was trying to do it. She didn't say, well, I was trying to get her fired because of things that Fed told me. She said Fed was trying to do it. So she's changing the story a lot now to fit, like, the newly released information. Like, nah, I don't buy that. Don't buy it at all. No shot, bucko.
So this is where things get really dicey. We move into the new house, and we have that new remote assistant. She's doing an awesome job and really helping. Yvonne, since her primary focus was merch, had a lot of free time, so naturally she started streaming a lot more regular and making YouTube videos. Some months passed, and I get a text from Poki with screenshots of her convo with Lily, where she brings up her concerns about Yvonne becoming a content creator. I responded by saying I thought we were cool with her going the content creator route. She responds with no. She started complaining that she was getting sponsor deals, posting a lot on her YouTube, etc. She said it's very weird, Imo. I just want to clarify again. Yvonne, get that bag. Whoever, get that bag. Again, the same thing had happened to us in the past, and I just didn't want someone else to, like, be brought on board and then just become a content creator. That's what I was bothered about. If she's like, but again, we had the conversation later on where she's like, no, like, that's not my end goal, and I like what I do with OTV. And that was enough reassurement for me. I don't even know what word I'm looking for. Poki suggested getting together and making a decision as a group. And yes, that's true. I always push for meetings so that we can all discuss things instead of, like, me just texting Fed. I don't recall this, actually. Quarantine has made it very, isn't really let her prioritize. Oh, I think this is Omega recent. Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, this is me trying to make sure offline TV doesn't die. I don't really know what he's trying to show by these messages, but I've always been someone in the group who's like...
Wait, did she not review it first?
Guys, we need, like, consistency. We need to make sure we have someone focusing on the group. And what happened was that, if you guys remember, during quarantine, Fed started streaming a lot more. And he kind of stopped being our main content guy. And can I just say, at this point, none of this matters, because OTV has been fucking great for, like, half a year, because
thank God for Among Us.
We now have, like, a decent amount of employees doing an amazing job, and I no longer have conversations
Flynn got
like
a pardon?
This because things are running smoothly.
Holy
I'm
shit.
so happy about it. It's so sad to have these random one-off, out-of-context screenshots leaked to try to make me look bad, when in reality, I'm just saying, like, I care about this thing. I want to make sure it works. What do we do if Yvonne does want to be a full-time creator? What do we do now that we don't have someone working on this, on that? Like, that's really all that I'm trying to do. I hope you guys can see that. Oh, I show these DMs because they further show that I had no interest in seeing Yvonne fired. But they're DMs of me. It doesn't even have anything to do with him, in my opinion.
Well, it has to do with showing that you were the one that was pushing for Yvonne to get fired, not him.
But again, this is all irrelevant because Fed now understands. I wasn't saying he was trying to get her fired. I was saying the incident that happened between us. The incident that happened between him and Yvonne is the reason she almost stopped being a part of OTV, which makes me very sad to know.
Wait, did Maya actually host
in
me?
hindsight.
Or were you guys trolling?
I want to make it clear I spent months debating on whether or not to release this because I know how much pain it might cause everyone involved. I know this
Wait,
will in
why
no
did
way
she
clear
host
my
me
name,
when
but it's
Miskiff
been
is streaming?
hard to
Wait,
sleep
what
at
the
night when
fuck?
I know there's so much misinformation, spiteful narratives, blah, blah, blah. I also don't think he feels this way anymore. I think I have always been very clear that the only reason I spoke out about my negative experiences with Fed was because
Her chat was telling her to as a joke. Oh, no.
I don't know if you guys remember, but when Lily and Yvonne first came out with their statements, people were like shitting on them. And it was really just not okay. And I felt that I had to speak to his character in a sense. And to this day, I know that's something that was very impactful for both Lily and Yvonne. And I know Lily literally removed her tweet because of all the shit she was getting. Anyways, I think he said something about me collecting information. Any information I was collecting was for the intervention. Like, of course, when all us girls heard, like, oh, there seems to be a pattern here, I did start asking other girls around us, like, is everything okay? Have you had any issues like this? But it's just out of care, and it's out of, like, wanting the intervention to go well and for the right people to be there and for him to really understand the impact he's had on others. It's very recent, and this was the first time I opened up about my past experiences with Fed to all the girls in our friend circle. And this led to everyone slowly opening up about their negative experiences with Fed. Mind you, I felt like it was a good enough time to talk about my resentment because it was way past everything that happened. Mind you, yeah, I think this could be a good time to talk about, I did have a lot of pent up resentment towards Fed. Maybe I should read a bit more from my document. I think that would be helpful. But essentially, I just want to speak to that real quick.
Wait, Double Lift retired?
It is true, I did, but that's one of the main reasons why I tried to move out. That's it. I felt like it was a me problem. I was like, listen, we have like baggage. Our friendship is not what it once was, and I saw him differently.
Maradona died? I have no idea who the fuck that is.
And I was like, you know what? I love OTV. I don't want to cause any issues. So I started making plans to move out. And do you guys, would it be helpful if I spoke more in regards to that? I don't know if that's an important point. Okay. Because I also think there are like all these conspiracy theories that like I wanted Fed out of OTV or stuff like that. I want to make it really clear. I had no agenda when it came to Fed. And I think the biggest testament to that is that I moved out before he did. I was planning to move out to deal with my own resentment towards him and my own issues way before Yvonne came out with her statement and before Fed left the house. I think if I wanted to kick him out, like I would have just stayed and tried to, you know, like to me it just doesn't make sense. But also to further elaborate on why I moved out, and at the time I just didn't really want to talk about it because I didn't want any potential negative speculation surrounding OTV. But essentially, a big part of it was just not really feeling comfortable with him. Again, I don't want to badmouth him too much. I'm just saying that's how I felt, and I didn't want to feel that way in my own home. And also, I just wasn't close enough with anybody else in the house back then. I also felt like there were kind of barriers in certain places there, which luckily have broken down over the last few months, and I'm so happy. Like, I have never loved everybody in OTV more than I do today, genuinely. But prior to moving out, I just felt like Fed was the closest person I was with. Our friendship had kind of soured, and I wasn't as close with anyone else. So I was like, listen, I'm just going to take myself out of the equation so we can still make content together and everybody is happy together. And I'm going to go live with some girls, no boy drama, and hopefully also a better separation of my work and personal life, because that is of large importance to me.
Wait, how is it a separation of work and personal, like to move away from the people that you're working with?
Better
Or
explain my decision-making process for
does
me
that...
now.
Wait, how much longer... Do you think offline TV is going to exist in a year? I bet it won't. That's my guess, but maybe not.
Okay. So, let's see if I missed anything.
Or rather, I don't know if she'll continue to be part of offline TV.
Oh, I also want to mention that on stream she was pretty supportive about me getting help and changing, yet a month later I posted a photo on Instagram captioning it, "I'm working on myself." 1 hour later she unfollowed me off all social media, and 2 hours later she posted this tweet with comments taken straight from my post. It seems she is less interested in seeing me change and more interested in seeing me canceled. And okay, he did post this like a month after everything happened. And I did tweet. I was like, in this industry, a girl fucks up with a fake bitch. A guy fucks up. OMG King, don't worry.
I like how she just laughs off all the shit that she says.
And I won't lie, that is some petty shit I did. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, they're unrelated. You know, like, yeah, I saw it and I was like, I feel like it's a bit soon. And I just, you know, I didn't want to see it. And maybe I tweeted a little petty thing or not. I don't know if this is like something I'm supposed to apologize for. I think I'll just admit, like, yeah, I did this. Is it the nicest thing? No, but also I was just so over it. I was really just so over it. And I'm gonna be honest about that. So yeah. Oh, I will also admit and try to be like as transparent as possible. I need to eat. This also stems a little bit from seeing different situations with others, sometimes feeling like people, like I will...
no, you can't say it was petty and then try to justify it.
I'll say some weird shit like 6 years ago and randoms will like never let it go. So I did feel a bit of like personal...
That's true of literally every public figure on the internet. You think anybody lets anything go from years ago?
I know this is also a sort of insecurity of mine, but also just being a petty bitch sometimes. Alright, the intervention aftermath. I just want to quickly mention all the steps I took after the intervention. As a house, they agreed that they didn't want to see me burn and that I was going to release my own statement with everyone's approval. When the intervention happened, I took it all very seriously. I was so sorry and remorseful. I went back to my room, feeling lost, scared, alone, complete shock. I called 3 people and told them what happened. Should I talk about this? Because I guess this isn't really relevant to me.
I like how she keeps asking, should I talk about this? I was like, of course everyone's going to say yes.
Well, I'll just say a little bit. Essentially, he's saying, like, after the intervention, I spoke to some people about it, and the way those people talked to people in OTV about it made OTV feel like I wasn't taking it seriously, even though Fed felt he was taking it seriously. And again, when I found this document, I actually had a very upfront conversation with him about, like, these are the specific things you did and said that made us think you weren't taking what we said very seriously, and also making us feel like you were kind of just trying to figure out what was next for you, as opposed to really reflecting on your past mistakes. And he was like, oh, okay, I understand that. I also want to say, throughout this entire process, what we released publicly was always in Yvonne's hands, and I think that's how it should be. I would never pressure someone to talk about something so personal publicly, and that's just the way we went about it. So it's like, Yvonne, you don't want to talk about it publicly, we won't. Now you feel like it's the right time to, then we will. Like, that was just bottom line for me. I really wanted to, at the very least, have that private intervention and hope that he gets better. When it comes to how we handled it publicly, that's a group decision and an Yvonne decision. I mean, an Yvonne decision in regards to what she says publicly, but how we handle it is a group decision. And overall, it's clearly poking out a very volatile relationship, and I'm certainly guilty of being inconsiderate, oversharing, and breaking her trust. But I hope that this new information sheds a light on my side of things and gives a lot of much-needed context that was initially provided. Never at any point was I trying to be manipulative or keep poking from making friends. I never wanted Yvonne fired. It horrifies me for how much and for how long misinformation about me and my character have been out there. Like I said, there are issues I'm working on. Yeah, I think the rest is also not related to me. So let me see if I missed anything in my doc, and then we can just chit-chat. I will say it is so tiring to read this document because Fed did some really distasteful things that many of our friends spoke out about. And this kind of feels like, obviously to me personally, I might be a bit biased, but it just feels like an unnecessary diversion from the more important things. Though I do understand he feels that he was made to look worse than he is, but two wrongs don't make a right. And this document is just so wrong on so many levels. He was close to me for 2+ years. So sure, he has a lot of text that could make me look sus, especially out of context. I'd like to think that I've grown since then, but also if the worst...
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Wait, what was wrong about the document? It feels like she she basically laughed off all the parts she didn't want to go deep into, and then wait, what was wrong about it?
And it doesn't change what he did. And at the end of the day, it's kind of just more public entertainment and drama and fodder for the subreddits. It doesn't better anyone's life whatsoever.
Ah, these were the statements that I was waiting for. Not worth going into. We've moved past it, blah, blah, blah. I'm surprised she even went this far, though. I don't know why she went through anything.
Yeah. Also, I understand the conspiracy theories are enticing. But there is no big, bad, ruthless businesswoman decisions being made here. We've always told Yvonne that when it comes to this very delicate matter, it is entirely up to her. And OTV is like fucking 23 people. I'm just kidding. We're like 5, 6, 7, something like that. And I don't control it. I just really don't. Of course, I have a say, and I'm always trying to do what is best. I'm not always perfect, but yeah. So, before I finish, ultimately, I think... wow, my throat, bruh. Yeah. Ultimately, I think it's fair to say that there's my truth, there's his truth,
alternative
truth,
facts.
Somewhere in between.
Oh, man.
I'm not perfect. I'm far from. Same with Fed. I am really sad that what was once such a close friendship of mine has turned into all of this. Like, it genuinely feels like surreal. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna mentally process that. And I really hope to never have a public feud like this ever again. I'm genuinely trying not to be involved in drama, hence why I spoke to him about this document weeks ago privately, and we came to an agreement on how to handle the situation. It is unlucky that he shared it with someone who then leaked it. I hope I can show you guys who I genuinely am, who I want to be, by hopefully avoiding or properly handling these types of conflicts, because I really don't enjoy being in this situation. I bitch need to eat. Also, don't forget to wish Scara and Toast a happy birthday. So yeah. Let me know if I missed anything. I know avoiding misconceptions is really important so we can finally shut this mother flippin' door.
I feel like this is the worst of every world that I could have hoped for. So I'm pretty sure I lost my bet with Dan because she did go line by line, but she went line by line and didn't say anything. How did we manage to get the worst of both worlds on this? Wait, what the fuck? This sucks shit.
He brings up, I think at some point, I accidentally skipped over it. He brings up a fair point where he says I lied about not knowing what happened between him and Yvonne. On my stream, I said how I was so upset. Thinking back at the times, I was worried about Yvonne's behavior and how much she was or wasn't dedicated to OTV, when in reality she was acting out a certain way because of what Fed did to her. And I think the way he interpreted it, and perhaps the way it was understood publicly also, is me pretending like I didn't know. But what I meant was that I hadn't known for so many months. And then there was a point in time where I heard about what had happened, but I did not have full details. I didn't know about it to the extent that it was spoken about publicly.
This is so weaselly.
I didn't know it happened twice. You know, like I just heard that something inappropriate had happened between Fed and Yvonne. But prior to me hearing about this, which was at least half a year after the actual incident, there was a half a year of me like essentially like seeing Yvonne in a light that was false. Does that make sense? So yeah, I didn't know full details until it fully came out, but I did know at some point many months, or I had heard about it many months after it did come out. So that's where it's a bit complicated. And when I was saying like I'm really frustrated that I had certain thoughts, I was referring to the many months that I had no clue. And I understand he took it as me like saying that I didn't know prior at all, but that's not what I'm trying to say. And I also like, I think even Toast said he tried to talk to Fed about it at one point. So I think I found out like a bit after Toast. But even then, I really, like, I didn't know everything, and I didn't know to the severity that it was. Yeah. Anyways, I bought a whole bunch of shungite rocks. Do you know what shungite is? Anybody know what shungite is? No, not sugnite. I think he's locked up in prison. I'm talking shungite. Anyways, it's a 2 billion year old like rock stone that protects against frequencies and unwanted frequencies that may be traveling in the air. That's my story. I bought a whole bunch of that stuff. Put them around the La Casa, little pyramid, stuff like that. Another doc to talk about today. All right, yeah, sorry. Please do ask me any misconceptions. I want to make sure that just fucking get it all out there. This
Can we
is
sub
like
and talk?
cringe overlord for me. Overlord? Overload. I'm the overlord. But yeah. I know this doesn't have much to do with the situation with these. Was Fed the only reason you moved out? No, not the only, but a big pushing force. Do you feel moving out has allowed you to get closer with OTV members and your current roommates? Actually, I feel like now I'd be more than happy to move back in because my relationships with everybody in the house is like way better than it was before. Crazy. So yes, it has allowed me to get closer, but I don't think it was so much moving out as it was like all this other stuff and these talks. And again, I don't want to blame Fed, but I have been a bit more comfortable with him not being around, and that has made it easier, again, for certain barriers to come down and for me to make certain connections. Not entirely his fault, but again, it was just with all the talking and yeah, you guys get it. Are you happy now? Very important. And after lease expires on your house, would you consider moving back in with OTV members? I would. I am much happier now. Thank God. Is it over? Bridge burn forever. I think we are on decent terms, actually. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this I think we all want to move the fuck on. Yeah, that's about it. It's not like a bridge burn because, well, not in the way it usually sounds, because I'm not here slinging shit at him. I'm not, I'm still covering up private information, even in the one screenshot I showed you guys. I'm not looking up dirt and blah blah. Oh my god, feds in chat.
Yeah, no shit.
God,
what do you mean?
So fucking weird. Ah! Are you gonna cry? Does Fed know you're talking about it now? Well, yeah, seems like it. Alright, sorry, back to the question.
Is this a performance? Of course. Wait, why would you not assume that? You must know this, right? Why is she saying this? Is this for the audience? I'm so confused right now. Am I watching a play?
Miskiff leak. He said he did it, and I think he should get better content. Actually, I've changed my stance on Miskiff. I think he got better content. Yep. Miss kind of alright. Yep. Kind of a decent dude, you know what I'm saying? Kind of decent. kind of a decent dude. Alright, sorry. Back to the no more, sub-meme questions, but chat's moving so fast, I'm like, do I unsub-mode it? Because that feels a little bit chaotic. Do you have any oh, you know what? I'm actually not gonna read.
Wait, I'm genuinely curious. I just don't know if she does it when she's... Does she always do, like, the gangster talk stuff? Is that always been, like, a Pokimanerism? I just don't know because I don't watch any streams at all. Yes. Okay.
I hope you continue to live with the girls, bro. I wish I could live with OTV and with the girls at the same time.
She's from Toronto, Destiny. It's normal there?
Mansion.
Maybe, okay.
Maybe if we didn't live in LA, we actually could. Okay, I will, as much as I don't want to, out of fear, I will take off sub-only mode just to see.
Fuck, I really need to do D&D, and I kind of want to move on from this, but I also know that if I get more views than Miskiff, it's really going to fucking bother him, even if he pretends it doesn't, so I kind of want to keep streaming and try to ham it up. I'm not really sure what to do right now. Hold on, let's see. What do we got a link in chat about? Destiny, watch this clip. Miskiff leaked the Fed document. No, don't care. It's dumb memes.
Again, it was just a situation where I felt like the vibes were off, most likely due to the things that they had heard from Fed. I'm not saying that. They told me that. So again, it's not even me trying to put blame on Fed for no fucking reason. This was something that just like whacked me in the face. I wasn't looking for this conclusion. People came to me and they're like, listen.
Something that's also really bad that won't get talked about. Wait, link me the Fed statement so I can make sure I'm not saying anything that hasn't been publicly released. Somebody link me the new Fed statement real quick. Also, what is this? This is dumb as fuck.
Need to always be working and consistent. And because of that, we did have to have conversations about Yvonne's position and role within the company.
Hold on, I gotta reread Fed's statement real quick. 1 second.
Fed did complain about Yvonne to people, not just to me. And
Okay, I'm sorry for... I'm disrespecting Fed here, okay? Because he says at the bottom of this not to make anything public. And I'm gonna go ahead and quote this line. A while ago, Poki and I spoke about what happened. We came to agree that keeping things private and making no further statements publicly was what was the best for both of us, to keep the document private. We wanted to heal and prevent any further harm for the people involved. She would make a brief, supportive statement when I returned, and we would go our separate ways. I wonder if this meant that she saw the document and she told him, listen, As long as you don't publish that, when you decide to come back to streaming, I'll be supportive of you. This is a really yikes statement that nobody's going to talk about, but like that feels a little blackmail-y to me. You know, like, listen, I saw your document. I understand. It's cool. Maybe you shouldn't publish that. And then when you come back publicly, maybe I'll make a little statement supporting your return. Maybe, you know, if you don't publish it. That's what it feels like to me. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but yeah.
Texts that I feel don't really add much value. Like, yeah, we flirted. I don't know what else there is really for me to say. The Jody thing was just like an unfortunate petty thing. I actually wasn't trying to be possessive of him at the time. Also, all of these screenshots are from like wildly different times. So if you see screenshots from like when we were talking and then when we weren't, and then from back then later on, you're gonna think that it's like a constant push and pull. But that was never my intention. And yep, clock. Why did you call it yep clock? I don't know.
Okay, fuck. I need to do D&D. Time to go torpedo my viewership. Listen. I do political drama, okay? That's supposed to be the thing that I talk about. Trump pardoned Flynn today. That's supposed to be the important news of the world. Not fucking Pokimane and fucking Fedmeister. Or my Fedster. Whatever that drama was.
I don't know why people want me to go into text where I'm like, you're cute. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, this shit should not be out there anyways. What do you want me to say? That's what I'm confused about. Also, I think a lot of people are really, understandably so perhaps, hard-pressed on like specific details about like, you guys were this close when you said you were friends and you were saying this, you were saying that. I'm not saying I handled the situation perfectly. I am a human being. I don't have like 10 billion years of dating experience. This was like an experience of sorts, and I'm living and I'm learning. I just don't know what to say. I didn't handle it perfectly. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry you guys have to read and learn about this cringy shit. But like, you're not meant to, because you are never in my shoes. You were never in his shoes. You were never a third person observer. No one can properly judge a private relationship or friendship from one person's like venting journal entry.
I like how she didn't bring up the fact that after they had a clear talk about boundaries, that in December, months and months later, she was begging him to come to her bed and sleep with him.
In my opinion. Do you guys remember what triggered this whole manifesto? This whole incident? Something completely unrelated.
The Yvonne stuff. Always go back to that.
So again, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm trying to like intentionally be vague or pretend like I did nothing wrong. It's just like, it's just a personal situation. I didn't handle it perfectly and he didn't either. And that's really just that. That's really just that. And I feel like further like reading into every word isn't going to make a difference. Also, people keep bringing up the sleepovers. I don't know if you guys remember, but Fed slept in like everybody's room. That was like an active meme.
Oh, she minimized it so much. I can't say anything because I fucking can't leak anything. He was not sleeping in other people's rooms the way that he slept in Poke's room. It's just not true. But you can all tell it by reading the messages. I can't believe she's saying it.
Happening. So it like becomes normal. And
it's obvious reading the messages. Like, do you think that he was sharing those types of messages back and forth with every other girl in the house? Does it really feel that way? Do we really think that's happening? Do we really feel like that's happening? I'm just kidding. I don't know shit, guys. I'm just making shit up for drama. But just reading the messages, okay? reading the messages. Do you really think that he was sleeping in every single girl's room like that? Do we really believe that was the case? Like,
I totally get what you're saying about the friend thing. It's hard to be yourself and make friends if you feel uncomfortable around people or if you feel like they already don't like you. Exactly.
Not to mention the fact that Peter's totally glossing over the Fed wanted Yvonne fired thing, which was not true. First, it was Fed wanted Yvonne fired. Then it was, okay, well, I wanted Yvonne fired because it was things that Fed said. Like, Then it was, I wanted Yvonne fired because of things that Fed did to Yvonne that I didn't know he'd done to Yvonne, but I wanted her fired. Like,
I think he mentioned trying to talk to Fed about it and just feeling like he couldn't get through to him as much as he wanted, or talking to Fed about just whatever issues it was. And I think it's just him, and I also wishing that things didn't go the way that they did. That's really it. Also, I'm so sorry if at any point my tone was off or anything like that. Again, I haven't slept in 30 whatever hours. And I haven't eaten in a while. So, I am not in the best state. But I hope that this provided some much needed clarity. The TLDR is essentially like shit between me and Fed. We both fucked up and we're both the F over it, really. So we hope that you guys can be too. And everything else is up to you guys to judge, because he put his side there, I put mine, and I just ask you guys be reasonable, respectful, and try to perhaps compare it to situations in your life, you know? Yeah.
well,
Peter said earlier today on stream there was something he knew that was a lie in the doc. Would you want to address it? He was waiting for you to speak on it and give your
bullshit. What a lying fuck. What is Peter? What was it? What was the lie?
I recommend Peter and anyone else to say whatever they want. I really don't want to say
Nope, he won't. I bet they won't. I bet they won't say shit. They didn't want to say anything that Pokey was going to contradict later on.
It feels for me. I don't want anyone to feel like they need to be involved. And yeah. So really anybody's welcome to say anything, whether they want to corroborate my side, his side, you know, or just give their like third-party opinion of like, guys.
Peter basically came out and he was like, oh, I think Peter came out and he said one thing. He was like, there was one thing in that document and it was wrong, but I'm not going to say what. Like, okay, dude. What, wait, did Peter do some fucked up shit in the past? Why do I know that name? Maybe not. Was he the one that did the thing? I don't want to say the thing. Who am I thinking of? Fuck, I don't want to bring up like old dumb drama. Yeah, was Peter the one who left that message in the Twitch chat with the Albert drama? Was he that guy? Or am I thinking of something different? Yes, he was. Yeah. What a little clout shark piece of shit.
Sorry,
fuck that guy. No, he wasn't. Oh, just kidding. Never mind then. Wait, why are you guys saying yes if he wasn't? Muse, why are you saying yes a million times? Ooh, Muse, you're on trial. It was Calvin. Way to go, Muse, you dumb fuck. Okay, never mind. Peter's off the hook for that one.
I'll try to chill. Put it behind us.
Okay, well, that's done. Well, who's excited for XQC's 100,000 viewer return stream today? Not doing any Minecraft today, I guess. Okay, I love you guys all. Let's all take some deep breaths, okay? We have processed late drama. Somehow, we got the worst of every world. She made a very long statement where she went line by line, but she managed to address none of the juicy stuff, managed to hand wave basically everything, and managed to be simultaneously detailed, yet completely lacking any details whatsoever. Yeah, wow. I don't really know what to say. She is a true politician. Oh, yeah, fuck, hold on. I do like to benefit off of this. I changed my mind. I want Twitter followers. It's the only social I care about. Well, I guess on my YouTube too, but make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell for the notifications. But actually, really, I just want Twitter followers, okay? If I get enough, I can run for president. Okay, here you go. Don't, wait, Fossabot, don't spam it a million times. Wait, is that a person or is that... Oh, wait, XQC's already live? Twitch mods can make it spam out. Listen, I'm not going to lie. When I go into a chat... Oh, wait, hold on. I can... well, let me drop some real quick hot takes while you guys are here, while I have your attention, okay? Listen to me. It is cringe, and I know at least some of you out there fit in this category, okay? It is cringe when I go into a clip or whatever, when there's some funny moment going on in a streamer's stream, and there's 4 fucking mods filling the chat with spam. If you're a mod, you're there to moderate. If you want to spam a little bit to join the chat, that's fine. Nobody wants to see your fucking spam a million fucking times over. Like, you seem like the kind of person that would like take a girl to a date at McDonald's and be like, oh, by the way, you ever see those funny clips of Lyric? Look at the side. You're going to see my name there next to the Omega Lols 50 million fucking times because literally all I do is smash my fucking nose over and over again on the Control V key on the fucking keyboard. Like, come on, dude. You stop, all right? Let other people celebrate. You don't have to be, especially when chats are in slow mode. It's like the only reason you're on. Don't do that, okay? Shit. Okay, hold on. When we have eyes here, what else? What other things do I hate about most of you people? Because I do. I hate most Twitch viewers. Really, I really do. What else? What else? What else? What else? Think real quick. What other hot takes do we have for the LSF community at large? Okay, I think that's all I have for now, actually. I think it's time to go do D&D. Oh! I don't know if I want to plug this to you guys. If you support Democratic senators for Congress, if you want to see Democrats own Congress, which is important, in Georgia, I'm going to be doing canvassing with other people on the ground. If you're interested in that, stay tuned to my YouTube or my Twitter where I will be tweeting out and posting YouTube videos on when we're going to get together to do canvassing. It will be in Atlanta, Georgia. If you live near there, check that out. I don't have like a central link to direct you right now, but it'll be for the Senate runoff elections for the Senate race in Georgia. There you go. There's that. Anything else? Oh, Jamie on the Minority Report sucks ass. Sam Cedar needs to dump that motherfucker and get somebody with a brain to do commentary because holy fuck. Anybody with anarcho anything in their name has worthless political opinions and you should rightfully ignore every single thing they say. That's a politics take. What else do we have? Noam Chomsky's based as fuck. Anybody that calls themselves a socialist or a communist is white, even the non-white people. Fall Guys and Among Us are trash games. Just kidding. The Fall Guys and Among Us drama that's posted on Reddit is trash. The worst arc of any LSF time period for drama has been the Among Us drama. Oh no, did you guys see the XQC shit talk the guy that called him the imposter? Did you guys? Oh my god. The Among Us drama LSF phase has been the most content drought fucking era the entire LSF history. Holy shit. What an unbelievably horrible meta for LSF drama. Terrible. We need to go back to... You ever notice that LSF is literally just like funny clips of popular streamers? That's really all it is. There's like no... There's like no... It's not even like funny clips anymore. It's literally just... It's literally just, here are like the 10 most popular LSF streamers, and here's all the clips of their communities post and then upvote about them. Who cares about chess drama? Chess drama was kind of funny for a little bit. Oh, another take. Saikuno is cringe. I said it. He is. But also, I don't really care that much. He's doing really well streaming. Congratulations to him. Oh, one final statement. K-pop is shit. The culture around it is fucking horrible. The people around it are miserable as fuck. The beauty standards are literally unachievable. Garbage culture for garbage people that don't like to interact with or consume content from real breathing human beings. Some of the songs are okay, but that's it. Make a statement for Lily to play. Listen, I love Lily. She's an awesome person. I bear no ill will against her. I don't know if we'll ever talk again. But, okay. All right, I'm hopping over. I play Dungeons and Dragons every week at this time. I'm going to go do that. It's been fun. I want you guys to stay safe. I want you guys to ripperino into the Papachinos. Make sure to tune in here for all your favorite drama. And, yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube. Yeah. Ms. Kiff calls my... Oh, hold on. Wait. More drama real quick? Hold on. Wait, real quick. Oh my god. What is it? Oh no.
Maya!
Hi.
You think I'm an asshole for doing this?
Oh my god, are we gonna go over the LSF stuff?
No, I mean, look, you're the most hated woman in Babylon. What do you want me to say?
I wouldn't do it. I don't like that you're doing it, but it is different from what Destiny did yesterday because this is like Poki talking about it. It's not a leak. Like that's what I thought was fucked up, but I don't know. I guess I'm stupid for that.
Maya, I don't care if you're on the board of Make-A-Wish. I don't care if you're on the board of animals and you've been helping people for years. My opinion of you has changed 100%, and now I just think you're a fucking terrible, terrible person.
Anything for the content. All right, hold on.
Only a few people came and actually sent me a DM.
Smile.
Just to be chilling, just to check in. Like
34 months. Poggy Woggy. Welcome back.
Destiny
to
did it.
XQCL smile.
Hassan did a little bit. Some Twitch staff.
Thank God.
Poke obviously.
The only reason I sent a DM to XQC is because when he came back, I told him, like, hey, dude, like, I hope you're feeling okay. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm like, awesome. Hey, when you come back, make sure to mention I sent you a DM, all right? I need to, like, build my streamer cred. Thank you, XQC. I appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
I don't care if you're on the...
I think he sent me a DM when I got unpartnered, too. XQC's a cool dude. All right, I love you guys. It's been fun. I'm switching over to Dungeons and Dragons, guys. What a great game. So exciting, okay? Stay safe. Be careful. Rip on.